Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unstuck Pod. Excited to have Usman Tariq here today. I could butcher describing what Usman is working on, but it's really cool stuff. I'm going to pass it on to him. He can tell you a little bit more about his journey and what he's doing right now. So, Usman, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. My name is Usman Tariq, and I'm CEO of Dental Assist AI. And Dental Assist AI started from a very specific problem, missed patient calls, but the bigger lesson, how we are helping a traditional healthcare industry adapt AI, building trust, solving workflow problems, and improving patient access without replacing the front desk team.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. So okay, so can you do me a favor? So let's take a step back because I want to talk about it, and obviously it's a very important and relevant area for a lot of folks, both AI and obviously the dentist, whether you are one or you go to one. So everyone would be familiar with it. But let's take a step back before. What was the big idea or what was the moment where you knew that there was an opportunity here to leverage AI or leverage anything to help in this context?
Yeah, I didn't come from dental industry originally. The idea came from a real moment. I was in the US in 2024 and a friend had a dental emergency. We started calling clinics, but nobody was picking up. So I remember thinking this is the business sitting right in front of them. So why is nobody answering? Right. So later I spoke with a dentist friend and realized this was not a one time issue. Clinic miss calls all the time, not because the team is careless, but because they are busy helping patients in the office. That was a moment Dental Assist AI started becoming real.
Well, okay. So then walk me through. So what's your background? Like, do you have a background in engineering, a background in so tell me where you came from, what you were doing before that made you think, okay, how can I apply, in this case, AI to solve the problem?
Right. So my background is definitely software engineering background. And where I started my career is solving real business problems through technology. That is where I see myself as looking into different problems and how I could solve it through technology. So that helped me. All the background which I brought up into this software is like came from all that knowledge which I learned in the past 2 decades.
Okay, great. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about the business because you described a lot of things it helps with, and I want to get there, but maybe a little bit more about exactly what Dental Assist AI is. And I think it's worth noting again, I think everybody who's watching and listening is either a dentist or more likely just been to one. So in the context of what's going on there, and you were a potential patient or a friend of yours was a potential patient, what was going on? What is it that you're doing specifically for these or for these businesses, essentially practices?
Sure. So, first of all, we are very clear that Dental Assist is not built to replace front desk, it's built to support them. So, the problem is not that clinics don't want to. If I take a step back and in easy words, if I'm going to explain it, all the calls which are coming to the clinic at the front desk, all the calls which they are not happening to pick up due to the busy time of the clinic, after hours, or the front desk is busy in helping other patients. All those calls which are coming in are rather going to the voicemail, or that could be the missed opportunity. So our AI is picking up all those calls and helping them up, right? So the problem is that the front desk is always happen to listen to the voicemails. They are very much overwhelmed, right? So we handle all those calls that would otherwise go to voicemails to be missed, especially after hours. That's where
And
we're done.
and how does it does it sound like someone's talking to you? Is that the way it is? If I call in and there's Dental Assist on there, what is it like? Because I would imagine that a lot of dentists are going to be concerned about the experience that their patients have when they're calling in, even if no one answers?
Yeah. So think about in the voicemail thing, whenever somebody is calling in and it's going to the voicemail, they can record their message. In this case, it's an voice agent which talks to the patients, answer their questions which they might have. They can book appointments, they can cancel appointments, they can reschedule appointments, or if they forget about their appointment, they can always ask, like, can you please help me out? And when is my appointment? Right. So we are directly connected with the clinic practice management system where we can read that data from there or put that information back to their practice management system.
And so the primary focus is on communication back and forth with patients. Is there anything else that you're doing like with this?
Definitely all the biggest workflow which we are trying to solve over here is making sure we are trying to give patient care as soon as possible through this technology, and there is everything for all the stakeholders in it. For example,
Okay.
for the front desk, they are not feeling overwhelmed with this software anymore. They are getting the notifications on email or SMS, and they have to focus on what they are focused right now is like helping patients who are already in the clinic, and
Right.
all the people who are calling in, they need answers, right? So they want somebody to pick up the call. So it's definitely a big workload problem. It's not a staffing problem, right? So think it like people are calling in, they don't know what's going on the other side of the things. They have few basic questions like when I will come there, where I should park the car. I would like to cancel my appointment. I would like to reschedule, ask somebody to give me a call back. So all these matters need to be resolved in one place. And on the office manager side, think about it in a broader way. They are always trying to give a good service to their patients. And what's happening here, all the calls which we are managing for them, we are giving them clear picture, like what's going on. And definitely patients are getting prompt responses, what they're looking for, what they're trying to do. And on
What?
the, yeah,
No, I was going to say, sorry, to interrupt you. I just going to say, what happens if patient calls in and they've got like dental questions? So
yeah.
something that is about I've got this, my tooth is hurting, something's going on. How does the system work in that context?
That's a very good question. So there is definitely a personalization aspect we have in the system. What we are here for, we are not deploying a generic system for all those dentists, right? So what we are asking them during our onboarding process, asking them questions, how you want to position your system, like what sort of questions you want to respond to your patients, that's up to you, right? So, for example, if somebody asks, like, I have bleeding gums, what I should do next, there might be some predefined answers that practice want us to respond, right? So, we are taking that knowledge, we are taking that wording from them and saying back to them, right? But there, definitely, we are not here to replace the dentist or anything. We are
Yeah,
not
I didn't think
we are
so.
not giving any we are not giving any suggestions like, hey guys, you should do this or that, because all we are trying to help. But personalization aspect is definitely there, how they want to position themselves, right? So I'm gonna add a couple of more points over here. Think about if you're calling to one dentist and they're telling, like, you're calling after hours, right? So what should be the greeting after hours? That could be different from calling them during hours, right? So the greeting would be something like, oh, we are not available right now, type of greeting, right? So we're going to personalize the greetings and all those
Everything
things.
that's specific
Yeah.
to them. Well, you mentioned parking and you mentioned a few other things. Let me ask, okay, so you have this business, you saw an opportunity, you built the business. Let's talk a little bit about what stage you're at with the business. You have a product. Are dentists using it?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So definitely we transitioned our product from early stage to, and we are right now we are at that stage where it's ready for onboarding. We are already onboarding different dentists. We onboarded plenty of them up to this stage, and we are onboarding more every single day. And we are focused on, there are two major directions in the dentistry, is like single location or multi-location, right?
Yeah.
So how we developed our product is like, we can accommodate single location or multi-location, any type of those dentists. Now, what we are working on mostly on specific type of dentistry, like it's like general dentistry versus cosmetic dentistry. So there are few differences
Okay.
in those areas too. So we are also defining those directions and making sure we are fitting in our product in every single way.
And how are you getting to the dentist? Like how do you so I've got my two questions are how do you get to them? One, and then the second thing is what's the reception that you're getting from them? And I've got some follow-ons, but let me leave you to those two and then we can jump in a little bit more.
Sure. So definitely we are getting referrals, first of all. Those are
Okay.
definitely very important thing. And the secondly, I'm going to talk about, which is like, I'm going to take a step back on this question. Like in the early stage, you have to listen for the feedback from the dentist, which you're already speaking. I
Yeah.
consider that as a gold. Okay. Some dentists were very direct. They told us this part is not working. This workflow is wrong. This is not how a real clinic operates. That feedback helped
Yeah,
us
that's right.
build the product properly, right? So you cannot build a vertical AI product from assumptions, right? You need real operators to tell you how the workflow actually works, right?
Mhm.
So based on those feedback, we developed our product. And coming back to your question, once we develop our product in that way, then our products start getting noticed by many of the dentists out there. And then they start comparing our product to other products. They realize like this product, what we built, Dental Assist AI, have depth in it. Right. So that is very important, is like having
Mhm.
a depth of the product is important. Like our AI is not like a sort of an AI which booking appointments or filling up the gaps in the calendar. That's
Yeah.
not the right way to do it, right? In this specific industry, putting the slots in the right places is very important.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
that's basically the depth of it.
So okay. So you referrals are helpful, and they certainly when someone refers somebody else, it's easier, more comfortable, and more trustworthy. I know a number of dentists. I know they always want to improve their practice, but at the same time, they're also very cautious. You talked about sort of traditional industry. How has adoption been and open-mindedness and sort of barriers to adoption? How have you handled that, and what does that look like in a world where there's a lot of downside? In their minds, there could be a lot of
Yeah.
downside, I should say, when they're looking at the upside of what you can do.
Yeah, definitely there would be a reasonable amount of challenges which we dealt with. First
Mhm.
one, trust. Trust is the biggest challenge. Clinics need to know the AI will not say the wrong thing, mishandle patient communications, and create extra work for the team. That is like a big thing, right? And then some dentists understand the value right away. Other needs time, right? Because they want to protect the patient experience, right? That is reasonable and we respect it, right? In healthcare, adoption is not only about excitement, it's about confidence, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is like integrations, which I really want to talk about here, is practice management integrations were much harder than expected. Every dental software is different, and most of them are cautious about giving access to AI companies. We had to be patient, build relationships, and prove that we are serious, right? And last but not least, like AI market is crowded, right? So many people say they have an AI receptionist our challenges is to position dental assist AI as a workflow and communication solution, not just another chatbot or call answering bot, right?
Yep. And well, okay. So then let's shift to this. So you've got a product. You've obviously it's well tested. You've gotten some, like you said, gold. The feedback has been gold.
Yeah.
That only makes the product better. You've got customers using it, and more are adopting it. So what's next? So let's talk. You know, where do you see it? Where do you see this going? What do you need to get there? Like, and where do you see sort of some of the gaps in terms of your way to get there?
Definitely, I can see it's just a start, right? For us, what we already solved is a real workflow challenge, which I never had to explain that challenge to everyone who's coming to talk to me, especially from dental industry. They already know that. So we solved that challenge. There are a few other things which we are very actively working is the one is outbound call agent, which is like another big challenge on the front desk is to start calling people back to the chairs for their upcoming appointments. That is something which we are almost there, which we are testing our system with a couple of clinics already. That is the biggest thing which we are bringing in the industry. Another thing is like insurance verification and before we get new patients in, we should have their insurance information tested. And that's another important workflow which we are hoping to bring in. The the biggest thing which I really want to work is keep building relationships with all the practice management systems in this industry to make sure our product is very well integrated with those practice management systems. And that is like a big opportunity sitting over there, which I would be hoping to keep going and keep building that momentum to get them onboarded
Oh,
too.
that's awesome. I think it's great. I mean, I think it sounds very interesting, and it sounds like it's like you said, it's applying technology in a traditional industry that uses lots of technology and things, but
Yeah.
this is new technology, new way of doing things, and sort of the sky's the limit in terms of the potential
Yeah.
of where it could go. Okay. So first of all, so where can people find you? So how can people who are watching or listening find you?
Yeah. They can definitely go directly to my website. It's easy name dentalassist.ai. Especially I would welcome or appreciate any dentist reach out to me and see it in a working condition, and I will give them a demo. And I'm the one who's giving all those demos nowadays, so they would be directly communicating with me.
And we'll make sure we put links in the description. So if you're listening and you want to get there, you'll find it in the description. And and if they wanted to talk to you, you're on LinkedIn, or
Yeah,
what's a good
I'm
way
on
to get
link.
hold of you?
Yeah, LinkedIn is the best. So
Which is great. So, okay. So, just to wrap up, question for you. So what do you think is the biggest challenge that you're going to face as you go forward? Where's the biggest problem? Where's the biggest concern that you have about what's next with the business?
the I can see like there is a huge potential, like definitely adaption. We can only already see like forward thinking dentists or people who want to try the product first. They're already they are testing it, they're getting benefit out of it, right? Uh, the biggest challenge is like spread the word out that this product really works. And I can see my biggest challenge at this stage is definitely building my more marketing channels. And maybe I would be hoping to consider raising some funds or things like
Yep.
that, because up to this stage, definitely it's self funded. And I can say we best utilize our funds so far, but definitely for the next step, I would be hoping to build more connections. And another big challenge which I can see, the second one is like building or onboarding more practice management systems properly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we can build deeper integrations with those practice management system. And that is where normally people see the value, like they ask for it, like, how
Sure.
deeper your integration is.
How big is your team right now, Usman?
We are around 8 people.
8. Great. Okay. Awesome. Well, listen, Usman, thank you so much. This is great. It's pretty awesome, actually, what you're doing. I love it. And I wish you continued success. This is fantastic. Maybe we'll have you on at some point in the future. You can tell everybody about how you hit it big, or will everyone, when you hit it big, everyone will be excited. So, and to everyone who's listening and watching, thank you so much. And until next time.
Thank you.